How much, again, when you see the candidates and you see Vivek, who we know has money, how much money do some of these people have? Well, you know what? We're going to break it down. We're going to tell you a couple of things. All right. Let's go to the person who I've been talking about a lot in this show, Tim Scott. So his net worth is $1 million. So it's small compared to Donald Trump's. Given where the South Carolina senator started, that's still pretty impressive. You got to give him credit. Unlike some of his competitors for the presidency, he neither inherited a great fortune nor has a prominent last name. Instead, he grew up in poverty. And I'm going to tell you his story, kind of like he tells it, but you really believe it from me, hopefully. So he managed to start his own business. He built a small real estate portfolio. He won elections and became a millionaire, proving that the American dream is still possible, even for a poor black kid from South Carolina. Growing up just north of Charleston, South Carolina, as a grandson of a cotton picker and son of a single mother, Scott worked at a movie theater and he dreamed of becoming a professional football player. Wow. Now, what if he became a football player? But politics also intrigued him, starting with a run for student council in eighth grade and continuing through high school. He was eventually elected student government president, overcoming a more accomplished opponent and what he refers to as his own impressively prominent buck teeth. Don't know what that means. So he got his big break in 2010 when he won election to the United House, guaranteeing him, now look at this, a $174,000 annual salary, nearly triple the $60,000 he had paid himself as the owner of an insurance business. So there's some money in office. He took office in January 2011 and sold his firm for more than $500,000 3 months later. So he really committed. So before long, he started writing books, including two alongside former South Carolina Representative Trey Gowdy, and he eventually earned two, wow, because of that, 700,000 as an author between 2017 and 2022. So writing a book is very profitable. So what has he done with his money? That's the question. Worth just over $1 million today, he completely or partially owns at least five properties, one in DC and four in Palmetto State. That real estate portfolio accounts to the majority of his net worth. He also holds a federal pension that's worth, okay, listen to this. How much is it worth? Is he even getting close to some of the people? An estimated $265,000 after 12 years on Capitol Hill. No, he's not even close. Rounding out his portfolio, a collection of equity holdings, including shares in blue chip names like Apple, Boeing, Coca-Cola, and Target. Wow. So this guy, Ron DeSantis, I mean, not Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott, I'm letting you know he has worked this behind off. Wow. How many of you are related to, I guess, cotton pickers? I hate to laugh on that, but how far removed are that? Slavery, the slavery days. So when he talks, maybe it's the approach that he does it. Is he appeasing the audience that he's talking to? Again, he's talking to people, but maybe he's not talking to the African American community. I like to see him do a forum in the African American community and see if people give him praise for what he's doing. But no matter what, you have to give him credit for where he's been and where he's going. And he is on the stage. He is on that stage because he's running against, and he believes he's running against people that he could beat, just like Ron DeSantis. So how much do you think this guy is worth? Almost the same, which is interesting. 1.2 million. So whether he wins the nomination, he's already gotten rich trying. So the Florida governor said he was worth 1.2 in a filing released, but a year ago he's made more than $300,000. So in less than a year, he's made more than $300,000 because he did a book deal, and it was also tied to his bid to run for White House. Marianne Williamson They say she's got a book deal. How many other people are doing some of this because they've got things out? So why not run for president? Because you're running, you're promoting your stuff. So when your stuff comes out, bam, you're going to make some money. So his book coming out, The Courage to Be Free, Florida's Blueprint for America's Revival, they paid him $1.2 million. 12 years ago, let's go back, before he was nationally known, he published another book, Dreams from Our Founding Fathers, First Principles in the Age of Obama. Wow. Which gave him $20,000. That was it. So he's not used to living with a lot of money. He grew up middle class in Florida before heading to Yale, where he captained the baseball team and graduated in 2009. He started his career as a history teacher at a private school, then went to Harvard for law school, graduated in 2005. At 27, he landed a job with the United States Navy, which provided a modest salary. Wow. So he was kind of like us in some ways. And he's governor and now running for president against Donald Trump. Poll results way up here for Trump. Poll results way down here for DeSantis. And some people think that he will drop out of the race because he hasn't made any effort to move up. People say he's scripted. Some people say he's got those weird eyes. And some people say he has no personality. But Florida, from what we heard from him and what I've heard, has been a very great state for him. So you wonder, why can't he take what's done in Florida and take that to another level as he's run for president? Wow. They say he doesn't have a lot of charisma. And maybe in the end, that's what's going to do him in. So we're talking about some of the people who are running for president and how much they're worth. Speaking of charisma and how much they're worth, Mike Pence, his net worth is $4 million. So government pensions made the former vice president a millionaire in 2019, but he really cashed in at the 2020 election. It forced him back into the private sector. So he made more money when he got back into being just regular Mike Pence. It took him nearly 2 decades of government service to become a millionaire. Wow. But in the few years after being president, he's gotten almost as much money in those few years than it took him all those years to get to become president. He's gotten that money from being a public speaker, writer, and consultant after leaving the presidency. His book, Hell the Chief, made him wealthier, and he got about $4 million from that book. From the start of 2022 to June 2023, he's gotten more than $3.4 million. Wow. His wife, Karen, even wrote a book. She received $75,000 in advance for her book, When Is Your Time to Serve? So growing up, he was the son of a Korean War veteran who helped build oil company, an Indiana gas station, and convenience store chain with more than 200 locations at his peak. Mike Pence graduated from Indiana University Law School in '86. He passed on a job in his family's business, instead mounting unsuccessful campaigns for Congress in '88 and '90, and briefly working at a small law firm. Wow. So some people may not know about this, but a second congressional campaign erupted in scandal after he used political donations to cover a mortgage, credit card, and grocery bills. So come on, Pence, you should know better than that. He said, because of this, I'm not embarrassed that I need to make a living, he told the press at the time. Such personal spending, though, was legal then, though it has since been banned, but proved unpopular with voters. Wow. I mean, I could have told you too. Can you go into your bank or your political contributors and use it to pay your bills, even though you're hurting? To this day and age, a lot of people are doing that, a lot of politicians. And they think they can't get caught, but eventually they do. What is that? Crime doesn't pay? No. Just try to make the money. So one of my favorite people comes and goes. Is she a Trump supporter? Is she not? but she was a good Secretary of State and good South Carolina governor. And she's running to be the next president. I think that she will become maybe a vice president candidate. I know she's looking for something, but boy, does she have fire when she talks. She goes after Vivek, and she pretty much says, "I don't trust you." Just like Christie, I don't think she likes anybody. She wants to win. So, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley's platform is "Don't mess with me." So, at the height of her career, her family was short on cash. Think about this. She quit the Trump administration and made millions. When she was Secretary of State, she wasn't making a lot. She last served in office as a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. Her family's finances were a mess. Wow. Her parents owed at that time over $1 million and were in danger of losing their home. A devoted daughter, she had loaned them hundreds of thousands of dollars in the past with her husband, but she could not solve all of the parents' problems with less than $100,000 sitting in her bank accounts and almost $200,000 coming in each year in salary. She wrote two books after leaving the Trump administration: a 2019 memoir that sold more than 100,000 copies, and a 2022 title gave her more than $350,000 in advance payments. She offered also consulting services, generating more than 700,000 in fees. And then there were corporate boards. She was on them. She got over $300,000 in cash in stocks. And she remains on the board of the United Homes Group, which gave her over 250,000. So her roots came from her childhood. Her parents came to America to offer their children opportunity, even though they lived comfortably in their native Indian. Her father was the son of a commanding officer in the British colonial army, and her mother was in a large house full of servants. Wow. They settled in the small town of Bamberg, South Carolina in 69. Her father got a job as a professor, and in 1976, her mother opened a clothing business named Erotica International. Wow. Had to be an interesting company. So as you see, some people have a lot of money and some people don't. Her net worth is $8 million, a little bit more than some of the other candidates running. Speaking of running, and we just talked about him, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You wonder, man, this guy, does he have a lot of money because he's a Kennedy? Well, let me tell you about what he is worth. Because you figure he's a Kennedy, he's got to have some money. He dresses pretty good. So, and do you like Kennedy? Some people do, some people don't. How many people are voting on him because he is a Kennedy? His net worth, surprisingly, is low. It's $15 million. So the Kennedys have a lot of money. We know that, but they also have a lot of kids, leaving them with less than you might expect. Wow. He has, and I was kind of surprised. Think of, well, think of this. The Kennedys. He has where he can ask for money and they will give it to him. But he has a lot of kids, so he's only got, like I said, 15 million. For decades, the Kennedy clan was one of America's most powerful families. Jeez. He got one of the most lucrative deals because he's smart in the stocks. But his father, Joe Kennedy, 29 grandchildren. He's the fourth to run for president and the first to do so without the backing of the broader family. Yeah, because if you know, a lot of people in the family, they're not even supporting him. He's got 15 million. They're not supporting him. So that estimates his worth at about 15 million, and that's including the access to his wife's income. And her name is Cheryl Hines. And We know her. She's from the show Curb Your Enthusiasm. I didn't know he was married to her. Wow. One of my favorite actresses. So her family is worth, or he's worth about 15 million. You think it'll be a lot more. Speaking of a lot more, here's a guy, man. Maybe he's so brash because he's so rich. By the this guy. You see him on TV? $1 billion. So a very smart guy, okay? And he believes in capitalism. Democrats and Republicans alike, he says, we tend to be more proud of a country when we're all making more money in that country. We don't have to flog ourselves for capitalism. Stop apologizing for capitalism. We should embrace it. Wow. At 38 years old, he has almost $1 billion. Wow. Making him one of the 20th youngest billionaires in the country. Hmm. No matter what, he's got all that money. He's still in second place. But then he does a show, like I said, and where he interviews people, and he seems down to earth. But recently, in the past, he's been taking some hits as far as running for president. They say he's Trump 2.0, or that he's running to be like a Trump, and maybe he wants to be, you know, the person who's vice president. So we all know this guy, Joe Biden. People are saying he's been funneling money for years. What is he worth? Well, it says his net worth is $10 million. But as he goes through this investigation, they say it's more than that. So he's worth an estimated $10 million, up from $8 million when he took office. So when he took office, he's only $2 million. Now he's $8 million. So that means he's doing a lot. How does he get this money? He sits on real estate. Wow. He has this summer house, which is estimated at 4.3 million. And the year that he left the presidency, he earned 11.11 million, cashing in on speeches. He added a pool, which may have cost as much as 75,000 to increase his house. So it was a wise investment. And the home is now worth $4.5 million. Wow. He appears to be the second wealthiest person competing in the Republican Party. Not talking about Biden, but talking about Vivace. And last but not least, you know him, you love him, you can't get enough of him, Donald Trump. They say he is worth $2.5 billion. Wow, I dropped my papers too. So you get a $2 billion guy, by the way, against a $2.5 million guy, Trump. Who's going to win money-wise? Is it all about money? So they are saying with the Truth Social that he thought they were going to make a lot of money with that. But right now he's taking a loss because when Twitter X took him off the account, he couldn't say anything. He said, you know what, I'm wealthy. I can make my own. So he made X. He made Truth Social, and it hasn't been as popular as he thought. So he's losing a little money on that. But he's still worth about $2 billion. Wow. So does it take a lot of money to run? Because you look at some other people that are running, and okay, they have a lot of money. So why are they running? Because we don't know who they are, but they have a lot of money. So to me, the more money you have and you lose, the more you have to lose. So when I was running, I ran against a Trump backer and two other people, and there were millions of dollars put into the guy that ran for my situation in Congress. Millions of dollars. Then the other two people, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then it was me, just me, not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when the other two people lost, and the other guy won, I didn't lose anything. It showed me that, wow, you can make a difference and run where the other two people, they probably are still paying their bank. So if you have a lot of money, it does help. But also being around the right people and having them believe in you. And that's one thing Tim Scott is doing. He's had a lot of people that are jumping on the bandwagon where he may move up past everybody. And it may be potentially Trump against Tim Scott. because he's talking to the people that he needs to talk to. He may not be looking for grassroots because he's saying, hey, grassroots isn't getting me anywhere. Shoot, I believe slavery was good, so why wouldn't grassroots people want to support me? People are saying I'm bold for saying these statements, and so they want to support me and fundraise and help me out. So give him credit for what he's doing, good or bad. But again, if he gets in office like Joe Biden, will he be Uncle Tom or Uncle